Is gambling allowed here?
Yes, clearly it is.
I believe so. I believe this is a gambling
They
establishment.
said it was no gamble, no future. I want to have a big future.
Hellmuth has queens and just calls on the button.
You know what?
You also want big future, right,
What
Professor?
God's name is he doing?
Big future for me and Professor.
Sometimes you want to see a pot four.
We're taking a look at a hand from No Gamble, No Future, playing 100, 200. Jennifer Tilly raises it up with Jack 10 of diamonds. Phil Hellmuth, one of the greatest poker players to ever walk the planet, just calls with pocket queens. What on God's name is he doing? Nik Airball in small blind calls with 8-5 of hearts, and the Professor calls with 5-4 offsuit. They're playing some very deep stacks, some kind of shallow stack. Phil Hellmuth is a short stack pro. He knows he's only good with a short stack. He has about 100 big blinds. Let's go to the flop.
That's me.
King 7-4 with 2 hearts.
It's going in. Airball's got a monster.
With the gutter and the flush draw.
He's the best.
Cool. That's it.
The flop comes King of Hearts, 7 of Hearts, 4 of Diamonds. Nik Airball with a gut shot and a flush draw opts the lead for 1,000 bucks. This is probably not that bad. I mean, look, in general, you don't want to be doing a ton of leading, especially on ace high and king high boards from much of any position into the preflop raiser, because they're going to be raising a lot of good ace high and king high hands preflop. They connect very well with this flop. But look, if you're playing No Gamble, No Future, you want to splash around, you're Nik Airball. He has a pretty high equity draw. It's a pretty good hand to lead with, because if you lead with the 8 high and people fold pretty much anything, that's a good success for you. Like in this scenario, the Professor folds bottom pair. That's great for Nik Airball. Jennifer Tilly folds 2 overcards and a backdoor flush draw. It's also a great result. Phil Hellmuth, though, he realizes pocket queens are the nuts on the King 7-4, so he sticks around. Let's head to the turn.
We could see Mount Hellmuth erupt here.
Queen of spades on the turn.
The turn is the Queen of Spades, giving Phil Hellmuth a set. He's probably not going to find a nitty fold by the river now. A little bit to my surprise, Nik Airball opted to check his straight and flush draw. And you may ask, why? He has 8 high. Doesn't he want to get his opponent to fold out if he doesn't have anything too good? And while he does want to make Hellmuth fold out hands that are not too good, let's consider what happens if he bets and gets called. If he bets and gets called, he's going to have 8 high on the river a lot of the time and is going to probably need to bluff, which is certainly a nasty spot. And the problem is also that if he bets the turn and gets called, Hellmuth is going to have a lot of kings in his range that just aren't going to fold on a lot of rivers, which is a pretty big bummer. Also, if he bets, Hellmuth might just rip it all in with something like King Jack, 7-4 suited, pocket fours, etc. And then that's going to make Nik Airball have to fold his 8-5 of hearts, which has a lot of equity, or call it off and No Gamble, No Future. So the alternative is to check. And then if it goes check, check, quite often Hellmuth is not going to have that strong of a hand. He's going to have something like a 7 or a 4, and then Airball can then bluff the river with a pretty decent amount of success, because it's pretty hard to call on the river with a random 4. Also, if Hellmuth bets the turn, Nik Airball can then check, shove, all in, which will then apply a lot of pressure to Hellmuth's non-premium hands, like Queen Jack of Diamonds, or maybe pocket 8s if he decides to bet it. Maybe even something like King 9 that decided to bet. By check shoving, you have the opportunity to make all those potentially fold. Now, will they fold? Maybe, maybe not. Phil Hellmuth is known for his amazing reads, but it's an option. So, Nik Airball checks. I love it. Let's see what Hellmuth comes with. On this very dynamic board, meaning there are lots of straight and flush draws, but no straights or flushes available yet, you pretty much always want to be betting with your absolute best hands when you are check to in position. And Hellmuth does that. He goes for a $1,500 bet into the 5,000 pot. The problem with this bet is that it does not price out Nik Airball's draws at all. If Nik Airball has any sort of draw, he's getting the right immediate odds plus implied odds to continue. And to be fair, look, if you bet any amount in this scenario, like let's say 4,000, Nik Airball's still getting pretty good implied odds because Hellmuth has 18,000 in his stack. But you want to do everything you can to cut off those implied odds and make a lot of his medium strength draws, like let's say 6-5 for an open-ended straight draw, somewhat indifferent between calling and folding. If you can get your opponent to fold out 20-ish% equity, that's usually a pretty good success. Now, the nice thing about a tiny bet here is that it may result in Nik Airball sticking around with something like 8-7 for a hand that's drawing totally dead. If you can get him to stick around with a lot of junky made hands that are drawing totally dead, then that becomes a pretty nice play. 1,500 though, Let's see what Airball does.
Building because of a couple
Sure is.
different
There
rivers.
it goes. There it goes.
All of it. They're just gonna run it once.
Nik Airball's playing no gamble, no future. He rips it in. Phil Hellmuth calls. What I want to know is which river card do you want to see? I know all of you in the comments section love Phil Hellmuth. He's your favorite poker player. Some of you also love Nik Airball. He's your favorite poker player. Who are you rooting for? Let me know in the comment section below. And while you're down there, click the like and subscribe button, please.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Some work to do for Airball.
And a
But
straight
10
up.
outs,
And
which
a
you do
straight
see
up.
on the top of your screen, looking for a
that's not
6
straight up.
or a heart that's not the 4 of hearts.
I didn't really want that heart.
Oh, he got
More than
6
40K
before,
in the
gonna get
pot.
6 again, I
Yeah,
guess, right?
Ellie, do I look stressed?
No. I guess if he tears stacks.
Oh wait, I need to pay a little more.
Prepay. Overpay.
Okay, I paid. We're good. We'll
Airball's
square.
the best.
found a
I'll
way
square.
If I
before.
were you, I would have put some money on that spot.
Oh, okay.
That's better.
I paid.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Oh, and I pay across the line too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's been paid.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
All
bas-
payments have been made. I'm good. I win for sure.
yeah, for all the efforts you made, at least
River
trust.
That's me.
card. Jack of clubs.
Now,
I think maybe I win this one.
Oh, you
He
guys
said
won
he
one?
was going to get him,
yeah,
and he did.
Airball took
the
one
vote?
Hall of Famer down. Elia Lesra could not bust Phil Hellmuth.
17th.
The river is the Jack of Clubs. Phil Hellmuth, the greatest poker player in the world, gets a little bit richer. Next time you find yourself playing on No Gamble, No Future against Nik Airball and you turn a set of queens, I hope your set of queens holds up.